Chapter 11. Revealing the Truth. As the week went by, Tayayu had spent a lot of time with Naruto, still not being able to find that courage to tell him how she truly felt. There was something else that was bothering her. It seemed that he was constantly being hit on by other women, though he never noticed. Tayayu was starting to wonder if he really didn't understand or if he was just too interested in her to care. She liked the idea of him being so interested in her that he didn't notice the whores throwing themselves at him. She smirked as they sat on the training field after having a sparring match, well, if you can call it that. Naruto had still refused to attack back. He just blocked her attacks, and when she got the upper hand he would just take the hits. It infuriated her, but he always said he didn't want to hurt her. Something about it she found sweet. It was sweet, but it still infuriated her beyond belief. As she sat there, she had noticed that Naruto had laid back and fallen asleep about 10 minutes ago. She had seen that he was more laid back lately. The village they called home still gave him bad looks, but he ignored them even more now. It was almost as if he fed off of them, as if they validated his existence. Tayayu sighed as she leaned forward on her knees. Why can't I say it to the damn shithead? Why does that pink-haired whore want him so badly? Why are all the other chick trying to get a hold of his cock? Tayayu let out another sigh as she tried to figure out the answers to her questions, though his sighing had awoken her blonde friend. Naruto looked at her, wondering what it was that she was thinking about. Lately she had been making that intense thinking face a lot lately, though she would never tell him what it was she was thinking about. Naruto just continued to look at her. Will you please tell me what you keep thinking about, Tayayu-chan? Maybe I can help you figure it out. Tayayu looked over at him. He had been persistent about trying to figure out what it was that she was thinking. It seemed to really bother him that she was keeping something from him, though she could understand it. She had lectured, yelled and scolded him for keeping something from her. Now she was doing the same to him. Tayayu sighed, finally giving in to tell him some of the things she would think about. I am trying to figure out why the pink whore and the other skanks are trying to get a hold of your dick so badly. Naruto looked at her. Oh. Maybe they are mentally challenged. We both know that the woman I like doesn't look at me that way, and I don't want to look at anyone else. Sakura, we both know why. She is trying to replace Sasuke since he is gay. Apparently she has changed a lot while I was gone. She seems almost desperate to feel wanted by a man. Tayayu had blushed at the beginning of his comment, saying he only wanted to look at her. She wished she could tell him how she felt. She really did. She hated this psychological instinct to have some distance from him just to be safe. She smirked at his comment about Sakura. Yeah, the pink whore will spread her legs for just about anyone. Who else has approached you for a date, shithead? Naruto looked at the sky as he though. Well, I don't know most of their names. They asked and I said no. It was that simple. I know that Ino and Ten both asked. They are the only ones that I know. Hinata, I think, has a thing for me, but every time she tries to talk to me she turns red and passes out. It's really odd. I don't understand it. Tayayu shook her head. Of course he wouldn't understand that the poor shy Hyuga girl had feelings for him. It was obvious to everyone, even the man who liked her, Kiba. Naruto seemed to be catching on to the fact though. That was a small improvement for him. Naruto sighed as he sat up and looked at Tayayu. Is there anything else that has been bothering you, Tayayu-chan? I don't want you to hold anything back. Tayayu shook her head. Nope, that was all, shithead. Why, you got a hot date? Naruto looked at her, then gave a small smile. Not unless we are going to finally go on a date tonight, Tayayu-chan. Tayuyu's face turned red and she looked away from him. No, shithead, we aren't like that and you know it. Naruto sighed. Maybe he had misunderstood that night a week ago. He thought that maybe she did have feelings for him after the way she acted. He figured he must have misunderstood the situation. Naruto looked up at the sky. But she kissed me for the second time. She added the kun honorific even though it was at the end of shithead. Do I really not understand that much? Naruto let out another sigh as he stood up off of the ground. Well, I am going to go home, Tayayu-chan. I will see you for our sparring match tonight, okay? Tayayu looked at him and could see that something was on his mind, but she nodded her head. Tayayu knew she would just get it from him tonight. Naruto put his hands in his pockets and walked off towards his apartment, collapsing on the couch as he stared at the ceiling. He ran his hand through his hair. I let Jiraiya-sensei give me hope. He thought that since we are so similar and I had these feelings that eventually she would want to be with me. I don't know if he is right or not anymore. Originally I didn't. I figured it was just more of his perversion. She has kissed me twice though. I just don't understand. If Jiraiya-sensei is right, then why does she never want to go out with me, and why does the idea offend her so much? Naruto groaned. He hated trying to figure out emotions. Usually he just had Tayayu explain them for him, but she wouldn't really talk to him about this. She usually skated around the topic. Naruto just closed his eyes, deciding that he was going to get some sleep before he met up with Tayayu again. Tayayu just sat there in the field until he would return. She didn't want to go home to come back. She just kept thinking to herself, well, he is probably right about Sakura, but why can't I get to the point where I can tell him? Am I really that scared that he would hurt me? But I'm not scared of anything. I am willing to fight the toughest opponent and not afraid to die. How could I be afraid of this? Damn it, Naruto-kun. Why can't I say it? Why can't I call you Naruto-kun outside of my head? Why can't I claim you as mine? Then maybe I wouldn't have to watch all those fucking hoes throw themselves at you constantly. A couple of hours passed and Naruto came back to the field to see Tayayu there. He figured that she must have just gotten there, not realizing that she had been there the whole time. Naruto walked up to the spaced-out woman and leaned down close to her. He was astonished by how deep in thought the woman was. Tayayu-chan, what are you thinking about? Tayayu snapped out of it and looked up and saw Naruto's face only a few inches away. She looked into his blue eyes and started to blush, then pushed him away. Why are you that close to me, shithead? Naruto just looked down and to the side. Sorry, Tayayu-chan. Naruto looked back at her as she stood up and got into her stance, making him watch her closely. Every time she came at him he blocked. She wasn't able to land more than 5 hits on him during their match. As she stood there panting a little, Naruto was looking up at the stars. She straightened out. Hey shithead, why won't you use any offense on me? Don't say that it's because you don't want to hurt me either. Naruto looked down from the stars and stared at her. But it's true, I don't want to hurt you, Tayayu-chan. If I get into a fight, then my power starts to get beyond my control. You're attacking me in sparring is making you get stronger. I put up a good amount of chakra in the areas you attack, but you can still move my body a little now. Tayayu looked at him. Show me how strong you have really become, then punch that tree. Tayayu pointed at the tree line in Naruto's side. He walked over to it, knowing that if he didn't she would just get upset. Naruto held out his hand and his chakra started to form in his hand, then he punched through the tree. As he pulled his arm out, Tayayu saw that he had made a perfect hole from the punch. Naruto looked at it, then at her. That is without a boost from my Kyuubi chakra. Tayayu was in shock from what she had just seen. How could he really be this strong on normal chakra? No wonder he was able to overcome her jutsu that she had created. Naruto looked at Tayayu. Does this satisfy you, Tayayu-chan? Tayayu looked at him. No. What is wrong with you, shithead? Naruto looked at her. Nothing, Tayayu-chan. Tayayu glared at him. You're lying to me, shithead. Naruto scratched the back of his head. Why is it I have to tell you everything when you don't tell me everything? Tayayu looked at him. She didn't think that he would actually catch on to it, but apparently he had. All she could do was look away. I want to tell you, but I can't. Naruto looked at her, his mind trying to figure out what it was. He came to one conclusion that made sense in his mind. Oh. I get it. You found someone you like, huh? You didn't want to say to spare my feelings. It's okay, Tayayu-chan. I am happy for you. Naruto gave her a small smile. He went to kiss her forehead as he always did lately, but stopped himself. He just looked at her forehead as she waited for her now usual goodbye from the blonde-haired man, but he just turned. I will see you soon, Tayayu-ch. Tayayu. Naruto disappeared in a swirl of leaves. I really did misunderstand, I guess. Tayayu was standing there in shock. Not only did he not give her the kiss on her forehead she had grown to like getting, but he didn't add the chan. Tayayu continued to stare at where he disappeared. He is way off with his conclusion. Stupid shithead. Taking away my kiss and my chan. Bastard will pay. Tayayu growled, then disappeared in a swirl of leaves as well as she reappeared in front of Naruto's door. She used her key to open the door and found Naruto deep in his own thoughts on his couch. Naruto had yet to notice the red-headed kunoichi that had entered his apartment. You're an idiot. An idiot. You knew that you weren't meant to have someone. You were always meant to be alone. You're just as fucking stupid as they say you are. You have no idea what people mean half the time and you understand nothing unless it's explained to you. Fucking moron. Of course she wouldn't want you. For a minute she just stared at him. She knew what she had to do. She just didn't know if she actually had the ability to let the blonde man in that deep. She stood there for a moment until Naruto's sudden outburst startled her. Fuck. Naruto slammed his fist down on his coffee table, smashing it in half easily. That was when he noticed the pair of feet just within his vision. He looked up and saw that it was Tayayu. Oh, sorry, you saw that, Tayayu. Tayayu stared at the broken coffee table, then looked at the blonde-haired man. He just looked at her, his eyes like they used to be when they first met, and it was just them. He looked disconnected from the world, like if he let it in then it would destroy him. Tayuyu's brown eyes just locked with his. Shithead. Naruto looked at her. What is it, Tayayu? Shouldn't stay here too long. You said once that is what couples do. Wouldn't want the person you like getting the wrong idea about us. Naruto gave her another smile. She was easily able to tell that it was fake though. Tayayu looked back at the table. What were you thinking when you destroyed that? Naruto looked from her to the table then back at her, debating if he should tell her. He sighed. Fuck it, why not? Whenever she starts to be with whoever it is I will be cut out. He won't want her around me unless it's a mission. Naruto rubbed the back of his neck. I know you want the honest answer, so. I was thinking about you. Well, kinda thinking about you. I was more directly yelling at myself for believing Jiraiya-sensei and thinking I could have you in my life the way I wanted. I thought you liked me, you kissed me twice and even called me shithead-kun that one time. I thought maybe, if I was patient and only did slight things to try and sway you then eventually you would come around. But, you like someone else now, so I was chastising myself for thinking it. Tayayu stared at him with a little wider eyes. You didn't lie to me. Naruto looked at her. Why should I? You get angry when I do, and let's face it, when you start to date whoever it is I will only see you on our missions. He won't want you around me as much as you are now, probably won't even like we go on missions together. I am sure that he will do some sort of ultimatum saying it's him or me. Naruto looked at her. He gave her a small smile, and a real one at that. Tayayu knew his next sentence was going to piss her off if he was smiling after what he just said. At least I had a real friend for a while though. Tayayu knew it. She snapped. Damn it, you bastard, I don't like someone else. I wouldn't cut you out and the person I like can't make me cut you out since. Naruto looked at her. Since what, Tayayu? Tayayu struggled with it but lost in the end, still not able to say it, and that's another thing. I want my Chan honorific back and you didn't give me my forehead kiss. Naruto looked at her in confusion. But Tayayu. Tayayu growled at him. Tayayu-chan. Naruto sighed and nodded. But Tayayu-chan. I didn't do that since I thought you liked someone. I wouldn't like it if someone else did that to you if I were your boyfriend. I would feel as if someone were trying to steal you from me. Tayayu groaned. She wanted to tell him why couldn't she just fucking say it. Tayayu growled at herself internally. Damn it, Tayayu. Woman up and tell him already. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Tayayu nodded and then looked at him while speaking in a whisper. Since it's you. Naruto looked at her. He saw that she had said something but he didn't hear her. What did you say, Tayayu-chan? I didn't hear you. Tayuyu's face was completely red as she looked up at him and spoke a little louder. Since it's you. Naruto heard her that time. Since what is me? Tayayu looked around nervously. Think about it, what I yelled earlier and that part, even you can piece that together. Naruto looked at her as he thought back. The person I like can't make me cut you out since it's you. Naruto's eyes widened as he looked at her, completely and utterly speechless. Tayayu stared at him. Guess you were able to piece it together then. Naruto looked at her. I don't understand. All the times I tried to sway you, you would look away and say no to me. If you do like me, why did you always tell me no? Tayayu rubbed her neck. It's hard for me to let people in. You're the only person I have ever trusted. I am afraid, letting you in this deep will make it so that I get hurt. Naruto looked at her, but,